Hello and welcome to the Justice Factor. This show was born nearly 10 years ago to highlight and debate the political and economic news of the day. We started broadcasting on Sundays at 9:30 a.m. Later we moved to Mondays at 8:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Tonight is our final show. We have hosted political leaders, analysts, NGOs, traditional leaders, and many others. COPE was born and is nearly gone. Where is Agang? A democracy thrives when its people talk and debate without fear. Here are some of those leaders. The information says a highly respected, highly admired man who speaks on behalf of the President of our Republic lied to the Scorpions. Did you lie to the Scorpions? Answer the question.
My answer to that is I have broken no law.
You have broken no law? You did not lie to the Scorpions?
I have broken no law.
At the time that you were Minister of Transport, your wife received money from a company called Mandali owned by Shabir Sheikh, and therefore, and Shabir Sheikh was doing work on behalf of Thales, which 2 months later received work from your ministry and your department. Did you know that your wife was receiving money from Mandali?
Those articles, those issues, they are saying they have got it from the Scorpions, so the Scorpions were investigating it. They were not my friends. They had that information as part of their total investigation, and they did not bring any charges.
Did you know that Thales and Mandali had a consultant agreement?
We have said we will not subject ourselves to an investigation on isolated aspects. We have subjected ourselves to lawful institutions.
Did you know that your wife, Zarina, has a foreign bank account in which money was paid by Mandali?
Not prepared to answer questions, not prepared to answer questions even though your name is Justice.
Were you paid a bribe, Mr. Maharaj?
I am saying to you, in the same way I can turn around and say that article has many inaccuracies, but I'm not prepared to get into that debate where there is no properly constituted procedures and laws where I can defend myself adequately.
You're an honest man. You fought for the freedom of this country. For many of us, you're a hero. And you will not tell me whether you received a bribe in the matter between Thales, Mandali, and Zarina Maharaj.
I will not answer questions relating to a larger issue in an isolated way, and I will not answer them in a way where I have no rights to defend myself properly.
The other issues that have come up around yourself over the past few months, in fact the past year, has been the issue of the ICT in Daba. Do you not think that it's a problem that these allegations continue, that you are so close to this gentleman, Maposane Mcibisa, and that there's a conflict of interest, that he was part of the organizers of this ICT in Daba?
Thank you very much that you have asked that question, Justice, because it's very important that we set things very clear. You see, as a minister, I don't appoint service providers in the department. It's officials. But two, the officials appoint a service provider. If a service provider goes beyond outside the department and appoint other people, it's none of our business. It's none of my business, you know. So if they have done that and they have fought, or for whatever reason outside there, and then they start coming back and say it's me, it's very unfortunate. And of course it's very unfortunate, Justice, because it took so long. And I think it's nonsense that people, when they have their problems out there, they would then turn around and come back and say it's the minister.
Did you or did you not know that this gentleman had a subcontract with Carol Bauer Productions?
No, I didn't know. It's not my business, Justice, to know who does what in the department.
But
I don't sit in the committees.
Is this gentleman romantically linked to you?
No, it's an allegation, Justice.
Are you prepared to say now that no, this gentleman is not linked to you?
No, it's not, Justice. I'm not willing to come here and talk about my friends and my family here. But no.
The point I want to make,
yes,
and I don't mean to. I don't think I'm interested really in your private life. However, if the minister is linked to this gentleman, there's a perception of
no,
a conflict.
Justice.
You have said there is no conflict of interest.
No, I am not linked, Justice.
I have to say, last Tuesday you're saying, I can think of no better person to be a presidential candidate. And now she can't be trusted to see any project through. Didn't you know all this? You've worked with Dr. Mampela Rampela?
I've worked with her. I've known her as a decisive, forthright leader. When she makes up her mind, she goes against all odds to follow through, in my memory and experience of working with her. And I felt that she would be very powerful in politics, delivering a message directly and blowing up a few myths in politics in South Africa. But unfortunately, it turned out she couldn't bring the people around her with her, and that is why she had to opt out.
Are you saying it's the people around her or it's her? Because you're saying she has demonstrated that she can't be trusted. She cannot be trusted to see any project through.
She made a commitment to the Democratic Alliance. She hadn't done her homework adequately.
In 2012, you were in talks with her. A deal was on the table. It seemed like it was going to happen. And then she often went and started Agang. That should have a set of some alarm bells in your mind.
Yes, it certainly should have, Justice. And I often wonder, when she came to me in November last year and effectively asked me for a lifeline for Agang, of course things weren't going well. And I think she was pretty desperate then. I often wonder that when she asked me for that lifeline effectively, whether my long years of friendship with her slightly blurred my response. I hope that isn't the case, but it has to be a factor, and I have to take responsibility.
When you say you're taking responsibility, a lot of people would say you have tainted the DA's election campaign, and we can talk about what this has done to the Agang election campaign, but that you, by this move, by introducing her to your FedEx and saying this person could be our presidential candidate, that you've damaged the DA and it might not make the 16.6% it made last time round, and therefore you should step down, someone else should take over.
Well, all politics, Justice, involves risks, big risks.
Did this leader of the SABC falsify his qualification?
I did not.
You did not. Are you applying for the job of COO of the SABC?
I can't comment on that.
Why not? You're already acting in the job. Many people say the chairperson of the SABC has said you're doing a great job. Are you going to apply?
No, I will decide. I'm still waiting for the SABC to finalize the matter. I will decide to.
Were you appointed irregularly to this acting job?
I think that question should go to people who appoint me. I can't answer that one.
State capture also took center stage as former President Jacob Zuma fired ministers who stood up to him, and the Guptas seemed to be in charge. As rumors swirled in 2017 that Mcebisi Jonas and Pravin Gordhan would be fired, they both came to our studio. So some of your colleagues have come out saying that you impede transformation. Some of the political formations within the mass democratic movement, the ANC Youth League, the ANC Women's League, have come out saying National Treasury is impeding transformation and that yourself should step down. What impact are these calls having on yourselves? And what does it tell us about the budget process you've just spoken about?
So I think if you understand this process, you can then place some of the political comments that we are hearing in the marketplace in some kind of perspective. So this is the truth as we know it. This is not fake news. And you got to separate that from the political narrative that is put out there to serve whatever purposes those people think they're actually serving at this point in time.
That leads to a question about your tenure. Both of you, many of these same people and organizations have called for both of you to be fired by the person who appoints you, President Jacob Zuma. Will you be here after budget? Will you be here a month from now? Deputy Minister?
Look, I mean, we serve at the pleasure of the President, so that depends on him. I mean, quite frankly, we're ready for any eventuality anyway.
We are both long-standing actors of the ANC, and we both have served the public sector throughout our working lives in one form or another, in the struggle, outside of the struggle. So this is a piece of work that we have to do now. If there's another piece of work we have to do in a different kind of context tomorrow morning, that's fine. The more important question is your viewers must ask, where do these people who make these calls get their mandate from? Whose interests are they actually projecting at this point in time? And what are they trying to protect, hide, or defend?
After the break, more memories of the justice factor.
South Africa's first choice for news. This is ENCA.